Over the next 11 weeks, we'll be making a very important list. It's a collection of my favorite dumplings in Los Angeles and beyond. From Xiaolong Bao to gyoza and mandu, dumplings are one of the most satisfying anytime snack or meal. For this series, we'll sample and learn about different styles from all over the world. There will be some classics you probably already love, and some lesser-known varieties we're really excited to share. Join us as we put together the ultimate bucket list of dumplings.
You can literally fill that with anything.
Smell this, it's like tom yum soup on crack.
Oh yeah,
Really
that's
soft,
super
right?
fragrant. I think ours looks better.
This was a Chinese dish, I would say they're dumplings.
We're starting with one of the world's most popular styles of dumplings, Xiaolong Bao, or soup dumplings. It's a dumpling with a delicate, chewy wrapper and piping hot, flavorful soup trapped inside, just waiting to burst all over the table and probably your shirt. But don't worry, we've got a method to avoid the dumpling squirt. First, we visit a strip mall in the San Gabriel Valley to eat at Xing Juicy Dumpling. It's a small restaurant that opened about a decade ago that specializes in excellent soup dumplings. Then we check out a rainbow of colors and flavors of Xiaolong Bao at Paradise Dynasty restaurant at the Collage Culinary Experience at South Coast Plaza. And lastly, I get my mind blown back in the SGV, where we learn about a totally unexpected secret ingredient that makes the soup dumplings at Hoitosiang so unique and delicious. I'm Jenn Harris, and this is the Bucket List Dumplings.
We're at one of my favorite shopping centers in the San Gabriel Valley. It's at the corner of Valley and Del Mar to get soup dumplings. This is always a stop on the dumpling tours that I do with my friends and family. It's at this place called Number One Juicy Dumpling, also sometimes called Longxingji. It used to be called Wangxingji. Regardless of the name, this is where you come for really good soup dumplings. Before I can even dig into these dumplings, I need to have my magic sauce ready, which I make myself. So this is not the correct way to do anything. This is just my favorite sauce concoction that I came up with. So in the ramekin with the slivers of ginger, I put a lot of black vinegar and then a couple drops of the soy sauce. And then you have to have some chili too, just for like a tiny bit of heat. So I don't want to like overwhelm the flavor of the dumpling, but I do want a little bit of the chili heat in there. Now we're ready for the dumplings. I'm always worried I'm going to break it. All right, so I have a method. Poke a little hole. Kind of like how I eat some other juicy dumplings. I kind of take out the soup and then sip that first. Ooh. These I think are so special because they're like the sweet dumplings, so you can order regular or sweet. The sweet ones are, obviously have some sugar with the pork, but they actually bring out the pork flavor even more than like regular Xiaolong Bao, like as if the sugar kind of makes them even porkier. So there's like a little bit of sweetness in the soup, you get that savory pork flavor, and then the skins are like a super nice chewy texture and they're not too thick. And even the nub on top, like some people just don't eat the nub on top because it's like too thick and hard. Like these are cooked perfectly. Another reason to come to this restaurant is because they make gigantic soup dumplings that have pork and crab in them. So they come with these straws with like a spear on one end, and you kind of just poke it, and I always pour some of my magic sauce inside. All right, then you just go in again. And you kind of just suck up all the juice until there's nothing left.
At the border of Costa Mesa and Santa Ana, South Coast Plaza is Orange County's largest designer shopping mall. This is where you'll find the only US location of Paradise Dynasty. In a dumpling world where Din Tai Fung is king, This newcomer is shaking up what we think we know about soup dumplings by expanding the exacting measurements and consistency of Xiaolong Bao with 8 unique flavors. CEO Eldwin Chua came all the way from Singapore to take us into the kitchen and teach us about their process.
Tell me about the different dumpling wrappers that you guys have.
So what we did to enhance the dough is by adding colorings, but all our colorings are natural colorings.
Okay.
So it's all from the puree from vegetables.
And so what's in the actual dough itself?
What's so unique about our dough is the tension of the flour. So we make sure we get the right tension. So we want our soup dumpling, when pop into the mouth, it has that springy texture. We don't want it too hard, nor we don't want it too soft. So we want it to be springy, so as you munch, it gets the flavor out.
So how do we start? Where
How do we start? I have to get our expert, Chef Lee, our executive chef from the US.
Hi, Chef Lee. Thank you for having us. Are these all exactly the same weight?
Yes, so all our dumplings are all in 25 grams in total, including the filling.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so the skin, if I'm not mistaken, is 5 grams.
So he definitely doesn't make it look easy.
Oh, of course.
Like it looks easy for him, but
it's his livelihood, right? So he has been doing this for many years.
Yes. So wait, Chef, how many dumplings do you make in a day? Do you know?
7000到8000。
You are like the dumpling master.
首先一个是一个专业的技术，然后呢就是说要靠时间的积累，然后得掌握它的一个小笼包的一个窍门。以我们要求呢，就是说每一颗的重量是25克，然后每一个碾的褶就是18个褶，就是我们必须要达到我们公司的标准。
So walk me through the fillings.
Color actually is very simple. The color actually represents the flavor. So obviously white is for original, right? Because it's plain.
So that is the pork.
Yes, yeah, that's the pork. So green is the loafer goat with a type of Chinese wine. So red Sichuan, you think about chili, you think about spice, you think red. And then garlic is natural earth color, so it's in gray. And then this orange color is actually crab meat and crab roll. Yeah. Then yellow is cheese. And then black for black truffle. And then this brown is for foie gras.
So you actually have all of the flavors are inside the filling mixed with the pork?
Yes.
Can you kind of tell me the origin story of the restaurant and how you started it and why?
I started my first dynasty in December 2008. So at that time, there was a frenzy with soup dumpling. Every restaurant that does soup dumpling, they do crazy business. So I was telling myself, I need to get a slice of the pie. I wanted a dumpling restaurant that has our own unique identity, our own unique USP. Inspiration came from my travel to Paris. When I look at these pretty macaroons, right? So I was telling myself, can I create the macaroons of dumpling? Because dumpling came from China, I wanted the menu to be more China-centric. So Chinese is very diverse. You have Cantonese, you have Shanghainese, you have Hainanese. So, but to the landlord, Chinese is Chinese. So they don't want another Chinese restaurant in the establishment. And for us, it's very important. We make sure our first outlet, it has to be in a prominent location and an iconic location.
That's amazing to me that you started such a successful well-known brand elsewhere, but that it was so difficult to find someone who wanted to open it in the States.
So in Asia, we are known, but not internationally. So because we are young, right? So
and also because there is a location of Din Tai Fung in the mall already.
Yeah.
So were you guys kind of worried about that, or was it more like the more soup dumplings, the better?
For us, we have full respect for Din Tai Fung. They have free, and seriously, soup dumpling to what it is now, the fame for what it is now, Din Tai Fung has made it so famous and has made it like their signature items, right? So Din Tai Fung is the Taiwanese version of the Shanghainese cuisine. So for us, we are the Singapore version of the Chinese cuisine, and the menu, I must say, is totally different.
Very different.
Yes. So should I?
Yes, please.
The crown jewel. They are precisionally placed in an order from the lightest taste to the heaviest taste. So there is this particular cuisine in China. They stir fried loofah gourd with this Chinese wine. So it's it's a kind of yellow rice wine.
Yeah, it kind of has like a fermented,
Yes.
like a grassy and then fermented
Yes,
taste to
yes.
it. Yeah.
So this is the foie gras.
Whoa. It is very foie gras-y. There's like, it tastes like you're just eating foie gras. This is fun. I want to do this every day. This is very strong. This
And
one
our
smells-
truffle dumpling, it's not truffle oil. I must emphasize.
No truffle.
So no truffle oil.
No truffle oil in the kitchen.
We use real truffle and truffle pate.
Like you're drinking like truffle soup.
Yeah.
So this is the cheese
Yeah.
dumpling. I don't know if anyone else is doing a cheese dumpling, cheese soup dumpling. It tastes like kind of like a, sometimes you'll make like a Parmesan stock.
Cheese dumpling is always the all-time favorite for kids.
That makes sense.
So next is our crab and crab roll dumpling.
Can you order any of these? Can you say I want to just get 10 of the truffle dumplings?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you can see there's
can-
so much meat inside.
Yeah, and you can taste the taste of the natural flavor of the crab and
Yeah.
the roll, which explains the orangey color of the soup.
This one is a garlic bomb.
Yeah, a
Like
garlic
there's
bomb.
so like you're gonna be breathing fire after you eat this one in a good way. If you like garlic. Why garlic specifically? Because I feel like you could have had any aromatic flavor the dumpling.
Okay,
Why garlic?
I must say I'm biased because I'm a garlic fan.
Okay,
I
me
love
too.
garlic.
Me too.
Okay, so a tiny tinge of
Oh.
spice,
Yeah.
spiciness.
It's more the numbing
Yeah,
than
numbing.
the spice. Yeah,
So
you
Sichuan,
definitely get
you
it.
always think Sichuan, you always think mala.
You definitely get the Szechuan and you get kind of like that mala sensation, but it's not overpowering.
Yeah.
It's not gonna like burn your mouth. I think whichever one I'm eating at the time is my favorite. Do you have a favorite?
My favorite is the original. For us Chinese, we grew up eating original Xiaolong Bao, right? So my next favorite is actually the garlic because I'm a garlic fan.
I don't think I would ever come here and just order the 8 flavors. I think I would always get the original just so I can kind of get that
Yeah,
fill
yeah.
and then have some fun with the
Yes,
the
yes,
signature
yes.
ones. But so I highly suggest people do both because these are very good.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Back in the SGV, Hoitosiang is always a stop on my dumpling crawls. In fact, the entire shopping center it's located in is filled with great restaurants and stores, with one of my favorite tea shops and an Indonesian grocery store. Hoitosiang makes a host of different dumplings with both pan-fried and steamed varieties that are all noteworthy. Owner Jack Lee makes so many different styles that in addition to his own 2 restaurants, he's made a business hand-making, freezing, and selling dumplings to local restaurants.
So what is in the magic broth?
It's just chicken, like stewing hens, and there's a little bit of salt and sugar. It's really not that complicated.
Oh, what is a stewing hen? Is that
It's like chicken kind of, but it's better because it's like a lot more subtle. And we don't want to like waste whole chickens because you can't really eat the meat once you brew it for such a long time. Like there's literally no flavor in any of the meat. I think that's actually all the seasoning for the Xiaolong Bao.
oh.
It's salt, sugar, there's ginger, there's scallions, there's some oil, and there's peanut butter.
Yeah, I saw peanut butter.
Yeah, it's not something you really like think would go into it, but
No,
it works out for us.
This is the key to good
Key
Xiaolong Bao.
ingredients.
Just give me peanut butter. So that's just the broth cooled
So that's
down.
the broth that's cooled down, and then they obviously take out all the chicken bits and pieces, and then they'll like slowly add it while they're mixing it. So the broth and the meat comes out frozen solid like that, and then they'll thaw it for a little bit so you can actually work with it, and then they'll start putting into the Xiaolong Bao. So once it becomes like, workable, it's not like a solid block of just meat ice. I don't know what to call
meat
it.
ice. I like that. We'll go with meat ice.
Yeah. So they'll float it slowly into the Xiaolong Bao.
Nice.
And then once you cook it, all the frozen broth will become the juice.
So that's how you get the soup in the soup dumpling.
Yes. That's one of the ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a specific number of folds to the dumplings?
We're not that you know, technically stringent on that. So it's just whatever works out to them, as long as like, you know, the nub on the top is not like super big.
And what kind of flour are you guys using?
So we use, it's like actually a mix of flours. These 3 flours that we mix together.
Oh, okay, so it's Korean flour, and then what are the other ones?
One of them is like the enriched Mayfair cake.
Oh, like cake flour?
And then the other one is just a all-purpose restaurant that has like a more like tighter, more bouncy like texture.
No, cake flour in there, huh?
Yeah, so this is
flour and peanut
the
butter.
main base of the Xiaolong Bao dough, and these 2 are just kind of make the properties of the dough like more bouncy, stringy, so it works out.
Texture.
Yeah.
Nice. Is it just the 3 flours?
It's just the flours and water. Yeah, we don't add like egg or anything. I'm a liar. Apparently, there's a little bit of salt they add too, and there's a little bit of oil, like very minuscule amounts.
She got you.
She got me. She was listening and she was like, you gotta tell them everything.
Jack recently opened a location of Hoitosiang in the heart of Hollywood, just south of Hollywood Boulevard. So, for everyone always asking where to get dumplings outside of the SGV, this is the place.
All right, let's eat some dumplings. So you got an order for each of us?
Sure, yeah.
So how do you eat these?
I like mixing everything, so like soy sauce and vinegar.
Oh, okay, thank you. You make my special sauce? Awesome.
Yeah, so I like to just take one. I'm
Okay.
terrible with chopsticks.
So am I.
And then like, buy a little bit, pour out the soup, and then like I just dip it into the sauce and just eat the rest.
If we weren't in your kitchen, I would never know that there was peanut butter in here. No. No.
That's the secret sauce.
No.
You can't tell it's a secret because you don't even know it's there.
That's amazing. There's like definitely like a richness and like an unctuousness, and I don't know if that was coming from the soup or the pork that you use, but
Yeah.
maybe it's the Skippy. Why do you think they're so popular?
Like, it's very unique. Like, you don't have, it's like dumplings with juice inside. When you hear that, it's like, huh, I want to try that. So I think that's what sets it apart, because it's like one of those things where you're curious, like, how did they get it in there? It's very cool. And then like you see your friends burning each other. It's like, ha ha ha, kind of like just novelty things. And it just grew from there probably.
And so what do you think about Din Tai Fung and like how they've kind of popularized this specific style of dumpling?
I mean, I like Din Tai Fung. Like, I eat there sometimes. I mean, I wouldn't order their Xiaolong Bao.
Wait, you don't order the Xiaolong Bao there?
I like their spicy wontons,
Yeah.
but like I don't order their Xiaolong Baos when I go.
I mean, it's funny because I feel like that has become the gold standard because that's what so many people are familiar with.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that style of the really thin wrapper is like what people think of. But when you eat at so many different restaurants around the San Gabriel Valley or San Francisco or anywhere where they have a lot of Chinese restaurants who make Xiaolong Bao, the styles are actually like so across the board.
They're very different.
Yeah.
You can have 2 things that look exactly the same, and when you bite into it, they're like completely different.
And what about the ones that you're named for?
That one is from like northern China. So that one, I don't know where my mom came up with that. I think it's like from where my hometown was. Like the original one was beef, definitely, because people in that region didn't eat pork. But pork tastes better.
And you do a lot of wholesale stuff too?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell me the story about people
I mean,
not realizing?
If it tastes like our food, it probably is our food. I've seen like vloggers and where like they're just lists of rankings of dumplings, and they're like, oh, this place is like the #1, this place is #2, this place is #3, and then like I'll see sometimes where it's like there's a restaurant with like Xiaolong Bao like that's top of the list, and then there's a restaurant Xiaolong Bao that's like the bottom of the list, and I'm just like, both of them buy from me, so they're the same ones.
And they're both your dumplings.
They're both mine, and I'm not on the list.
Amazing. That's amazing. So do a lot of places not make their own then because they're so labor intensive?
Yeah,
like,
a lot
so
of
they
places,
buy them from you?
it just makes more sense to buy them. People are getting older, like the older generations that know how to make it, they're like slowly not working anymore, and then the younger generations don't want to make stuff like this because it's so labor intensive. I'm pretty sure everybody in the kitchen makes better ones than I do. Like mine are like ugly. Like I don't think I would hire me.
I'm still scratching my head over that peanut butter, but I loved it. This was just a fraction of the dumplings you can find around Los Angeles. Xiaolong Bao is definitely one of the world's most popular styles, and for good reason. It's hard not to eat 10 at a time. But save some room because we're just getting started.